Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our afternoon edition of Big Brother 22 All-Stars Live Feed Spoilers. It is still day 8. There is a new episode of Big Brother airing tonight. We'll be back. We'll probably discuss it a little bit, but a lot of this stuff in this episode we've already talked about. We'll probably be focused more on the live feeds. There is a chance there could be some talking, some possible vote switching. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never know.
No, I mean, I'm sure that the show is going to try to play a little bit of that going on, so.
Oh, I'm sure they will. They will do whatever they can to make this look dramatic.
They do not want it to look like it's going to be a sweep.
It might be a sweep, but we'll go through a lot of this stuff in this update, especially Kaysar and Janelle fans. There was a nice big conversation for them on the feeds earlier. Doesn't mean they're saying everything you want them to say, but there was a conversation at least.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that and a couple of other interesting notes. But before we get into it, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and support us further by checking the links in the description to the store and also our Patreon, where we have live chats at the end of every month.
Okay, so let's get into this Janelle and Kaysar conversation. So the big question that we got going on is, do Cody and David and Tyler actually want to work with Kaysar and Janelle? Because he thinks that this is a thing.
Kaysar.
And listen, I know it's just such... It's really hard at this point right now in the game because they have safety. Kaysar and Janelle have safety. There's no reason for Cody, David, Tyler to be like mean or be like, we're going to get you out or what, or really talk too much game. So there is just more normal, like, hey, how you doing? You want some eggs? Good. Yeah. Hey, let's just chat a little bit. So it's making Kaysar feel comfortable when maybe he shouldn't. So it feels like he's starting to get a little like, hey, maybe this is a thing that's happening.
We're okay, guys. We don't have anything to worry. It feels so much like classic Kaysar, because Kaysar's biggest Big Brother mistake is always he is way too trusting of people. And I know he's been talking about trying to put in work with these guys, and he has had conversations with him. That doesn't mean that they still want to really, really work with him. And I'm just listening to him sort of talk about how he's starting to feel like things are changing and they're not really out to get him anymore. It's just, Kaysar, you're safe. They're not going to talk about you before the HOH.
Yeah, and he's also starting to feel really good about Bailey and Davon.
Okay, so Bailey, we talked about this earlier.
Yeah, I mean, this Bailey kind of makes sense because Bailey is interested in working with Janelle. She likes Janelle, so I mean, she would probably want to also work with Kaysar since they are together.
Kaysar, this, we're only a week into this game, and I think that the Big Brother 22 is already doing bad things to my heart. It's just like, why are the beloved people most of America loves not seeing the light?
I know.
Okay, well, anyway, Janelle and Kaysar, they're also talking a little bit about who they're kind of concerned about, who are some of the people who are worrying them, who maybe they're not all on the same page, and this may anger some people as well, so be warned in advance, but
Yep.
They talked here mostly about Christmas, Kevin, Nicole F. Not Cody, not Danny. Christmas, Kevin, Nicole F.
Now, I kind of get this in some ways. I mean, they don't really have a great relationship with Christmas. It's not bad, but it's just not really anything. So that makes sense in a lot of ways. Kevin knows that they have been pro keeping Keesha in the game. So even if they try to turn it around, which we'll kind of get into a little bit, he knows, and nobody knows where Kevin's really going to land. He's really dangerous in that way. And then Nicole F., I mean, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be like, all right, this is a good move, because a lot of people don't like her. But I actually think it is a good move because she is connected to that side. She's the best one to go for.
Yeah, like, that's the one read I think Janelle and Kaysar are really on right now with, is that Nicole F. is dangerous to their game, because there is going to be whatever sort of nonsense is there between Nicole F. and Janelle that we've kind of already seen play out. Like,
Yep.
that is a narrative this season. She is a legitimate danger. I don't know if you can get her out right now, but it is something that they should be concerned about. Kevin, I not so much. I mean, yeah, I think there could have been a way to spin that after the fact where they could just sit down, have a conversation, try to make things better.
Yeah, I mean, Kaysar wants to do that. He wants to tell Kevin that he's good, make it kind of sound like, hey, I had a hand in this, or I'm helping, or, you know, we got you. But I just don't think that Kevin's going to buy this. Like, I don't know how Kaysar's going to be able to spin this in a way that Kevin is really going to buy this.
Yeah, especially since especially if Kevin ever gets into power while Janelle and Kaysar are still there, there's going to be so many people coming up to Kevin and being like, you know, Janelle and Kaysar, they were sort of talking about wanting to have Keesha around or hinting around it. Like, it's going to be so hard for Kaysar to try to sell this. I appreciate Kaysar thinking so much about the game in general. That's why I can't be mad at him. Like, he's at least trying. It's just I don't think all of his ideas are going to work.
This idea may not work, but it's the right move. You do need to go and try to mend some of what's been going on with the push for Keesha, that they're letting it go, that they're part of trying to save him. This is the right move.
It is the move that you have to do. So good on Kaysar for that. I hope that they don't wait long to do this. Like, I know that they've talked about, okay, we kind of have the sense that Keisha's going, so we'll tell her at the very last second before the eviction show. Maybe somebody else will tell her first and we don't have to, but you can't wait that long with Kevin. But finally, this is the last, I guess, interesting thing from this Kaysar and Janelle conversation, beyond just that they're just interesting in themselves. But Kaysar talked a little bit about how Memphis's days may be a little bit numbered, because I think he still feels like, okay, maybe Memphis and Keesha could be together, or they're on the outs. He doesn't think that Memphis is doing too much. Kaysar, you need to have the words Blob Alliance put in front of you, because Memphis has been all about this alliance of nonsense.
Memphis has been doing a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean, though, that what he's doing is working at all. But he's still out there trying to do something. I mean, I don't think his days are numbered, but, I think he's going to be around a little bit.
Yeah, Memphis is like that sort of target where it's a situation that if there starts to be maybe 3 evictions down the line, maybe he'll start to come up a little bit more as a regular target in the game. But we're not at that point yet. We're not at a point where everyone is going to be like, we need to get rid of Memphis right now. Instead, it's just sort of like, okay, do we really trust Memphis? We talked earlier about maybe Tyler and Christmas having some concerns about this Blob Alliance when their Blob leader or Blob master in Memphis is not doing enough to actually make them think that this is a thing. But that's really kind of it.
Yeah, I think that next week that's just going to splinter off into the little blobs.
The little blob. See, you guys should take our alliance names. We're giving you Blob Gold here.
Okay, so Danny also had a conversation with Cody about her conversations with Janelle. And I know that's probably going to disappoint a lot of people out there, that all of us that wanted to see Janelle and Danny work together. And that doesn't mean that they won't work together down the line a little bit. But right now, this has been part of Danny's game. She has been sharing information with Cody.
And I may not love it because the idea of Danny and Janelle working together, like, it's so fun. But I also sort of understand where it makes sense, where there's some reason in it, mostly in that if there's ever a situation where people need to choose between Danny and Janelle for whatever reason, Danny can be like, oh, I've brought you information, I've thrown Janelle under the bus, and she's showing so much value. I do worry, though. She seems to tell Cody a lot about almost everything, and Cody's got so many other alliances. Like, he's sort of got his own, like, mental blob going on with, like, 8,000 different deals.
Yeah, he does. But to be fair, some of the stuff that Danny really told about Janelle isn't too much of a surprise. I mean, just that Janelle would rather Keesha stay and that she's not going to push too hard for it. I mean, I don't think that's a surprise to Cody where he's like, what? I never saw this coming.
Yeah.
Like, you know, yeah, she's giving information, but it's not really that valuable.
It's not something that changes the game. I don't know if we're going to get anything, to be honest, that changes the game over the next 36 hours or so.
Yeah.
And unless Keesha amounts the comeback of the century, which, mind you, I don't think it's going to happen. If it does happen, I will celebrate it. We will make our own cake because we know how much Keesha loves cake. We will celebrate this comeback if it happens.
We actually have a poll going right now here at the YouTube channel on our community board. If you haven't seen it, go in and weigh in on who you want to see stay in the game.
Yeah.
Who is your choice?
Yeah, I'm interested to really know that because it seems like most people are sort of pro Keesha, but it's also sort of this situation where I want to be pro Keesha so bad because I like Keesha, but I need Keesha to do some stuff. I need Keesha to really, fight hard. And she campaigned a little bit not too long before coming on here, but she campaigned to NICOLE, who she's probably never going to get a vote from, and Janelle, who she kind of already has.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a person who, like, it doesn't matter if you're never going to get their vote. You still have to try. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Keesha, why would you campaign to NICOLE? No, you got to campaign to everybody. So, that's great. But yeah, Janelle has your back already, and she has this whole time. You need to spread it around.
She needs better arguments, too, because one of the things I heard her say is, oh, this means that there's going to be another woman in the house. And, I know that there can be a lot of bro alliances sometimes in Big Brother. We have seen this, but there's not one every single season. And, it's always theoretically possible. I know it's not in this scenario, but she could be working with all of the bros to take down all the other women. And her campaign spiels that I've heard are so just like general. I think I even heard her say at one point, well, if I'm HOH, you can use the HOH shower.
Yeah, and in general, this whole, like, let's split up the genders. It's the women against the men. It's the men against the women. I mean, that never is really how it ends up shaking out by the end of this game.
She needs to be like, okay, here is how I can specifically help you. I will do this for you. I will talk to this person. Here is how I've been helping you so far. You gotta really, tell people things that they want to hear. Everybody in this game, especially their all-stars, their egos are all like on another level.
What I was kind of hoping to see happen was to see if Janelle really wants Keesha to stay, to have Janelle maybe help guide her into how to campaign and maybe who to talk to, or maybe they could talk to people together kind of thing. If Keisha's unable to get this together, help a girl out, man. Like, do it together.
I want to see something more because I think if Keesha goes this week, it's going to be such a letdown just because I know so many people have been excited for so many years to see her, and it just feels like it's like, I'm going to talk about Mountain Dew again. It's like getting a Mountain Dew that is a rare flavor that you haven't had in years, and then you open it and you find out that it's like expired and it's not really fizzy or exciting anymore.
You're talking about a real situation that happened in this house.
Okay, see, it has happened to me, and it is disappointing. I want the fizz from Keesha. I want some of that flavor, that excitement.
Okay, story time. So this is what actually happened. Matt was voting on this Mountain Dew thing for Pitch Black to come back because that is his very favorite Mountain Dew. He voted every day, so did a bunch of other people, and it came back, and that was like the big thing. So we went to all these different stores and we bought so many of these Pitch Blacks because he was afraid that they were going to go away, and we stored them up and we put them under the sink, and then he left them too long. So when he got to his last two, that happened. They were flat.
I was trying to savor the flavor, guys. Hashtag savor the flavor. You gotta try to make them last a little while, and Keesha.
I think we even have a picture of Matt holding all his Mountain Dews over on our Instagram.
It was the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat by the end of it. This is a lesson, guys. Drink your Mountain Dew. Okay, I don't know if that's really a lesson that anybody needs, but okay.
That's a lesson that we need.
Yeah, but okay, well, we got one more update here that's not related to my insanity.
Okay, so the last update is sort of more about the backyard, like, is it closed? What is going on? Because for the first, few days, there was no backyard. And now it's kind of looking like no backyard again, so what's going on?
It's like they waited till early, really, really late in the cycle to give them the backyard. They had it for a couple days. Short period of time. It sounds, based on the conversations that I've heard, that they might not have it. I mean, I've only heard it mentioned a couple of times, so I don't know if it's going to reopen. I don't really know what's going on as of this recording, but I think it's possible that it's going to be closed until tomorrow night. And I know in the past, when we didn't have a backyard for a long time, it meant, oh yeah, epic endurance challenge, let's do it. But I think they probably have a smaller crew this time for obvious health reasons. It may just be kind of a smaller competition, and it may just kind of take longer to set up this time around.
Yeah, typically, and I mean, this is just our theory, is that they would have sort of a skeleton crew doing stuff like this so that, they can still get the challenges together, but there's less sort of possibility of spreading things around. So if that's the case and you have less manpower, then it's going to take longer.
Yeah, I wouldn't read anything into it yet. I mean, the backyard could still reopen as well. We don't know for sure what they're doing out there. But just one more thing to note there, and now we are wrapping up this video. But like we said, later tonight we will be back to discuss a little bit of the episode, but mostly what I hope is going to be an interesting live feed, because this is when campaign season has to happen.
Yeah.
Come on, Keesha, get that fizz going. But anyway, let us know what you want to see today and what you thought about Kaysar and Janelle's conversation in the comments.
And also, what's your favorite Mountain Dew?
Okay. Merry Mashup is also very good. Okay.
This is not sponsored by Mountain Dew,
It's really not. It's really not. It's just sponsored by me having a problem. But all right, well, share in the comments. And if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and support us further by checking the link in the description to the store, our Patreon, and we'll see you here next time.